Hello everybody, my name is Nicholas, the mango in question. Today we are doing a Naruto tier list for the openings and endings. I just thought it would be super fun. I've seen these tier lists everywhere and I wanted to do one myself. This first video is going to cover the openings and endings for OG Naruto, and then in another video I'll do the Shippuden stuff. On top of that, I'm making separate lists for openings and endings because I feel like you can't really compare them. They're just so tonally different, like they need to accomplish different things. So just by virtue of that, I have two tabs open. This one's going to be openings and then the next tab will be endings. As far as what criteria I'm going off of, I guess it's a combination of so many different things. It's the animation, the music, how well they fit together, any kind of cool symbolism they use in the opening. That'll give it more points in my book if it has that. This is not really a reaction video where I watch through the endings and decide. I have already taken notes on them. But if you want to see the openings, you can watch them all on YouTube. I will include a video link in the description, as well as a link to this particular tier list, which involves everything for Naruto and Shippuden, both openings and endings. With that out of the way, I guess we'll get started. Opening 1, Rocks by Hound Dog, episodes 1 through 25. Personally, I feel like it didn't fit the tone very well. It was pretty 80s, even though Naruto came out in early 2000s. The lyrics are kind of like a standard fight for your dreams kind of thing. I guess it's not really my kind of song. The animation's good, but it doesn't really focus on the story events of the arc, which is what I really like about shonen openings. They kind of like allude to what's going to happen later, like story events, characters showing up, without really explicitly spoiling it. And that's kind of what I appreciate about shonen openings. And this one didn't really do that. So for me personally, that brings it to C tier, which in this, even though it's like on the lower half of the spectrum, I consider C tier like average. Number 2, Haruka Kanata, Go the Distance, in English, by Asian Kung Fu Generation. This aired from episodes 26 to 53. This one was definitely more fitting the vibe of the show. The animation and the timing of how it matches to the music was really great. It was really flashy, and it has lots of symbolic kind of things, like with Orochimaru's eyes in the background, and the characters, that spinning camera angle where it gets all the characters changing back and forth. That was really good. That's really cool. And actually, this is one of the first openings where they change it depending on where we are in the story. After Sakura has her little event in the Forest of Death, further showings of the opening show her with her hair cut. So that's kind of cool. Overall, I feel like this super fits the vibe. I'm going to give it an A. I think it really does what it needs to do and does it well. Next, we have Kanashimi wo Yasashisa ni, or Turning Sadness into Kindness, by Little. This aired from 54 to 77. Now, I like this more than I thought I would after rewatching it. The voice is kind of like a little grating, but I feel like the tune of the song is solid, if that makes any sense. I love the focus on the cast as children. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing, showing everyone's pasts and how they came to be where they are now. I think it's perfect for the arc that it's in, which is the whole Chunin exams arc, dealing with Naruto and Gaara and how they're so similar, and also were raised so differently. The lyrics are about overcoming sadness to be your best self, so that gives it extra points just in terms of how well it fits the tone here. Despite all that, I don't think the visuals really have enough oomph behind it to place it any higher than a B tier. I still like it, but I think it could definitely be better. Alright. Opening 4 is Go by Flow. I think this is a lot of people's favorite opening. And much like the second opening, it does change as the plot progresses. Once Tsunade is introduced, she gets extra stuff going on in the opening. I actually had no idea this version existed until like maybe a year or so ago. So it was actually really cool. It was like lost footage or something to me. I can't believe I had no idea it didn't exist. However, it kind of, after seeing the second version of the opening, it kind of feels like the first version was just an incomplete, I don't know, they didn't finish it in time. They're like, oh, quick, we gotta get this to air. And they're like, oh, no, we're not done yet. Like, just slap something together. But, the second version of the opening is definitely a lot better. It's catchy, the lyrics are straightforward and capture Naruto's, like, headstrong, willful personality. Overall, yeah, I think this deserves to be up here with the second opening. They both kind of have the same energetic vibe, and they both really illustrate the story arcs they're trying to tell well. Alright, now we have the fifth opening, and without question, I'm just going to immediately put this in S tier. This is by far my favorite opening. It actually has 6 different versions that slowly change as the plot goes on. It's during the Sasuke retrieval arc. There's the timing is just so impressive. Like, if you go back and rewatch this, it's probably been a while for you. It's really timed out very well, and you don't even realize how well it's timed unless you actively pay attention. The animation is probably the flashiest and most fluid. They really got some professionals on here. It's very smooth and very well done. I don't know, it's pretty much perfect. I don't know what else to say. I guess it's gonna stay in S tier because I strongly feel like this was peak Naruto, not only in the original show, but as far as openings go. Alright. So, number 6 is No Boy, No Cry by Stance Punks, airing from 129 to 153. This was the last... We saw this one right as the fillers were starting. It covers basically right after the Naruto Sasuke battle and stretches far off into the distance with filler. By virtue of that, this opening doesn't really have anything to do. It's just kind of all the characters standing there, looking cool, doing their moves. There's no plot to allude to because nothing's happening. It's filler. Also, I just really don't like the voice. It's kind of raspy with a lot of random yelling in the background. I just don't think this is the vibe we're looking for, especially after what was the absolute best opening, in my opinion. I have to firmly place this in F tier. I know that sounds crazy, but like I don't like it at all. Moving on, we have Namikaze Satellite by Snokel. This aired from 154 to 178. We're firmly in filler, but this is a much better filler opening than the other ones. The animation tries to be a bit more artsy. I think I know they even referenced some of these visual shots in a recent Boruto opening. Not that we care about Boruto, but they're doing something right if they're alluding to it. It must have been a very popular opening. This is another one with different versions, and much like one of the earlier openings we had, it kind of feels like they just weren't done animating yet. One has Naruto just kind of running with some just flashbacks playing in the background, and then another one has all the sensei doing some cool moves. But again, it's filler. It's not going to be able to accomplish the thing that really stands out to me with openings, where it alludes to the plot and does something cool with the characters and the story. But it does have a much better song and much nicer animation. So I am moving this to C tier. Now we have opening 8, Remember by Flow. If you remember, Flow did the 4th opening Go, so they brought them back. I like Flow a lot. Flow is great. It's it's fun, I guess. But by virtue of it being filler, you can't really say much about it other than that. It has 2 versions again, but it's not really worth noting. I don't really have much to say about it, but just by virtue of it having a really catchy song, even though it's filler, I'm pushing it up to B tier. I think it captured the vibe well. Whatever the vibe is, it managed to find it, and it is doing it well. Alright, and finally we have opening 9, Yura Yura or Wavering by Hearts Grow. This covers from episode 203 till the end of part 1, which is 220. So, I remember liking this one, but after watching it back, I don't know what exactly I saw in it. I do think that the song is nice. I like the song a lot. I would listen to it completely outside of the Naruto connection it has. The silhouetted figures are nice, but they kind of outwear their novelty after a little bit. They don't really... I guess they don't do much for me. And then it just randomly switches to kind of still shots of the characters. We have the sensei just chilling out, and whatever they did to Gaara, like, they kind of massacred him. Look at this strange design they gave him. Like, what's going on? Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. It's not thematically coherent. And again, it doesn't really show anything. It's just the characters just standing there, which is a big problem that a lot of these filler openings have. Because, again, nothing to go off of. So, I don't hate it as much as this one down here, so I'm gonna have to go with D tier. I don't think, I think the song saves it. I think the song saves it, that's the thing, and it just can't be any worse than this one. Alright, so that's all the openings. This is my, it's pretty evenly distributed, I'd say. Everything has, some kind of representation. So from here, we're going to go to the second tab and do the endings. Okay, here we are. Same list, same layout, same pictures, but now we're talking about endings. Okay, ending 1 is Wind by Akeboshi. It aired from episodes 1 to 25. Honestly, I feel like this is the perfect Naruto ending. There's so many things I like about it. He sings the song in English, but there's this kind of nostalgic feeling that I associate with his tone. The visuals are gorgeous. It's kind of like watercolor, and it's really great at having kind of a symbolism where it shows Naruto's feelings and how he struggles to grow up and be accepted. And I think it's just so rare for something to completely capture the tone of the show right out of the gate. Like, it absolutely knows what it's doing, and it's great. Like, it's an emotional song. It's so good. I'm putting it up in S tier. Go watch it. Go revisit this ending, because maybe you'll feel the same way I do. I think it's legitimately, like, pretty much a perfect ending. Alright, ending 2 is Harmonia by Rhythm. This one is unfortunately far weaker. It aired from 26 to 51, which was the whole Forest of Death arc. But it's just Sakura and Ino just kind of vibing. They're dancing and oogling at the guys in the background. It doesn't fit. I like the song by itself. Rhythm is a duo of singers. They are not active anymore, but they have a really clear, kind of soft tone that I really like. But the song is not the only thing we have to look at. We have to look at the thing as a whole, the visuals, how it ties together, and it's just not doing it. So I feel like they could have done something a lot better for this part of the story, so I'm putting it in D tier. The only thing that saves this is the song, which I do like. Ending 3 is Viva Rock, Japanese side, by Orange Range. The song's catchy. The chibis are just kind of like walking across the screen. It just gives good vibes. That's really all it does. It's inoffensive. It gives good vibes. If I was rewatching the show, I would probably skip it, but there's nothing wrong with it. So I'm going to give it C. These endings are definitely, well, endings in general have different guidelines you have to follow than openings. Most of the time, they are a lower budget. They're kind of like a mood rather than a visual spectacular. So you kind of have to alter your expectations a bit, but there are certainly things it can do well. Obviously, we know that after seeing the first ending. So that's kind of the standard I'm holding things to, with this being S tier and anything potentially reaching that point. Anyway, continuing on to ending 4, Alive by Raiko. Easiest ranking, F tier. I hate this song. It's really grating. It is a slow zoom in on Naruto, and I don't think I've ever fully sat through it more than once. So I hate it. It's so bad. F tier. No question. Ending 5 is Imamare Nandomo, or Many Times Until Now, by Mass Missile. This aired from 78 to 89. This is also kind of a lackluster ending. I think there's energy behind the animation, but the cast just kind of standing there is really awkward with their kind of blank, happy expressions. I don't know, it's weird. Also, the chorus is kind of annoying, so I don't really have any strong feelings towards it. I would definitely skip it if I had to rewatch, so D tier. Ending 6 is Ryusei, or Meteor, by Tia, that aired from 90 to 103. You can call my bias if you want, but I really love this song. It's super catchy. I've listened to it so many times, completely unrelated to Naruto. I have the full song on my playlist. It's just really catchy. It's really good. The animation itself is kind of a sped up painting of Sakura, Ino, Hinata, and Tenten at the beach. Doesn't really make any sense. Doesn't have anything to do with the plot that's going on right now. But however, as an artist and as someone who likes the song, this bumps it up to at least a C tier for me. Yeah, I guess this is just completely personal. No like deeper thought to it. I like art and I like the song, so that's where it ends up. Ending 7 is Mountain A Go-Go 2. I don't know exactly what that's supposed to mean. I feel like it's trying to tell me something, but not doing a good job. By Captain Stridium. This was from 104 to 115. It's actually kind of baffling what they're doing here. It's a weird kind of psychedelic rainbow, bunch of just character drawings sliding across the screen. It's not very good. It doesn't capture the vibe at all. That vibe we've been chasing, it's not capturing it. And as a reminder, this takes place during the Sasuke retrieval arc. There should have been something really good here, and I'm going to bring up that ending when we get to it. That later ending should have been here. But just by virtue of it kind of being an insult to the arc itself, I'm giving it F tier. Really don't like it. The next one, ending 8, is Hajimete Kimi no Shabeta, or I Talk to You for the First Time, by Gagaga SP. This is from 116 to 128, so pretty much ending at the climax of the Naruto Sasuke fight. Again, I don't know what's going on with these lazy, uninspired endings. It is Naruto runs. He's running. Some people say he's still running. But I don't know. I don't get it. Naruto runs. There's some pictures just floating around like someone did them on After Effects. It's just so low effort. I don't understand. I didn't even bother to look up the lyrics because I just don't think it would have saved it at all. And again, for something that is the climax of OG Naruto, this needs to be something better. So by virtue of it being in the wrong place, it needs to go down here as well. I'm realizing I don't like Naruto endings very much. I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. They gotta come up sooner or later, right? Okay. Ending 9 is Nakshite Kotoba, or Words I've Lost, by No Regret Life. This is kind of like the first filler ending. It started airing right as the show was ending during the aftermath of the Sasuke-Naruto battle, but it heavily extends off into filler. So we can kind of consider this sort of like the first filler ending. But despite that, this really fits the tone of the arc. This should have been the ending, like not the other one I mentioned, but like this one we just talked about before, that should have been this ending. I feel like it's a much better fit. It's simple, it's moody, it's got a passionate song that's like engaging rather than catchy. The visuals are kind of somber. It really brings it up for me. So I think after considering all that, this has to go up into A tier. So I don't think this is quite at the level that the first ending was, but it's definitely much stronger than anything else we've seen up till now. And that having the right mood and the right song definitely lands it in A tier. At least we have more things on this side rather than this end. Okay. Number 10 is Speed by Analog Fish, which aired from 142 to 153. We are full on in filler endings now. I remember not liking this one at first. I couldn't really appreciate the simple, sketchy art style that's going on here, but as I've gotten more into art and animation, I can see there's a certain kind of charm here, and strangely enough, it could have fit really anywhere else during the earlier endings. It's like a really high energy, high powerful song. It's all about like getting over being depressed and going out to kick the world's butt, which I guess actually kind of fits where we are now too, because it's post Sasuke. I don't know, I actually kind of shocked myself as I was revisiting this one. So I'm gonna say C tier. I don't know, I don't think it's quite B tier because it still doesn't really do anything, but it's good. And if I had to like minorly sort this one, I would do this. That's kind of the order I would put these in, but I haven't done that for anything else, so don't think too deeply into it. But just if I had to order this particular row, this would be the order these were in. Yeah, not awful. C tier. Let's see, ending 11. Soba ni iru kara, Because You're Here With Me by Amadori. This was from episode 154 to 165. There's just less and less to say about filler endings. It's chill, it's kind of like pastel-y, but overall pretty boring. I like the song by itself. I'd listen to it outside of Naruto, but it isn't doing much for me, and much like anything else that has a good song but lackluster ending, it is going right here. Firmly in C tier, firmly average. Ending 12, Parade by Chaba. This was from 166 to 178. This ending actually has two versions. One of them, which is probably the one everyone's seen, is just everyone randomly dressed up as dogs. I don't know what the reason was. I don't know if there was some kind of thing going on. That's actually the screenshot they use here. But what I'd like to talk about is another version of the ending, which is much harder to find, about Sakura. So the Sakura version is just so good. That ending down here, this F tier one that I was so upset was taking place during the Sasuke retrieval arc. This one, well, not the one I'm going to show on screen. This one with Sakura is just so much better fitting. It's the song is really catchy, and I looked up the lyrics, and they're actually really poetic and like somber. It's just, I don't know, like I just can't. I don't have any words. It's so good. It's just it's perfect. I know I have the weird doggy looking one here, but it goes up with S tier. Go track down this ending. Go watch it. It is so fitting for the ending of the Sasuke retrieval arc. it captures the emotion so well. It's just good, okay? It's very good. Go out and watch it. S tier ending. Alright, moving on. Ending 13, Yellow Moon by Akeboshi. You'll remember he did the very first ending. This was from 179 to 191. I really like Akeboshi as an artist. I'm a big fan of his sound and style, but this ending, unfortunately, like many of the others, does not escape the filler curse, where it just doesn't show anything or do anything. It's a bunch of characters just kind of standing there. Everyone has cell phones for some reason. It's so weird to see like 2007 flip phones in Naruto, when Naruto itself doesn't even like to acknowledge technology to begin with. It's kind of like a weird teen music video. I don't know how to describe it. But that's why we have C tier, you know? It's a song I like, but an animation I don't. So, firmly in C tier with everything else that follows that same thing, or vice versa. Alright, we're nearing the end here with ending 14. This is Pinocchio by Oreska Band from 192 to 202. This features Naruto and the summon animals just kind of vibing. The song is catchy, but it does not fit at all with any kind of tone that Naruto has tried to put forward so far. Sakura's randomly there for 3 seconds. I don't know. It's very strange. I don't think it's my thing anyway, and it doesn't fit Naruto very well, so I'm going to put it in D tier. Because it's not as bad as these 3 down here. But it's just slightly better than that. So it goes up to D tier. And finally, we have ending 15, Scenario by Saboten. This is, of course, from 203 to 220, marking the end of part 1. This kind of serves as like a curtain call for all the characters. We see all the main trios and the sensei again. Gaara and friends, who we know are going to be relevant immediately after this in the new arc in Shippuden. The thing that really makes this ending stand out at all is the part where Naruto's running and then briefly transforms into his older self before changing back. That part alone brings this kind of average ending up to a C tier. Otherwise, it'd be very unimpressive, but it's a really good kind of goodbye to old Naruto, hello to new Naruto. Overall, a average but good way to end part 1, especially being part of filler, you know. There's not much you can do. Alright, so this is the definitive ending tier list for OG Naruto. It is a lot worse, I think, than the previous list. We can see here it was a bit more evenly distributed, whereas this one, I just firmly did not really care for a lot of them. And nothing can beat here, I guess. I don't think anything... Yeah, even like looking at these real quick, I don't think any of these deserve to be in B tier. Maybe this one? I think that looks a bit more aesthetically pleasing, so I'll put that in B tier. I gotta have something in there, I suppose. So yeah, this was super fun. Again, if anyone wants to do this list for themselves and see what they think, they can do that. I'll include that in the description. And anyone who wants to revisit these openings and endings, I will also include the videos I watched in the description as well. Next time, we're going to do Shippuden, but there is just so much for Shippuden. It's crazy. I might possibly do the openings on one video and the endings on another. It's just way too much to talk about for one video, but that's for another time. OG Naruto is a wrap. Thank you for joining me. Until next time, adios from the mango.